Hi, hello. Today I'm going to be talking about this Nano Aquarium setup that I put up. Started this journey on 10th of January 2021 as a New Year resolution after whatever happened in 2020. But let's not talk about that. This Nano Aquarium is actually 1 feet across, it's 3/4 feet high and half a feet wide. This actually, how I started this tank is something called cycling. In the hobby, you need to know something about the nitrogen cycle, where bacteria convert the harmful ammonia and nitrates into nitrogen, and it helps the plants to. It's a complicated cycle, although it was taught to us in 6th grade, but here we are. So water change, what I'm doing right now is a 50% water change. For a planted tank like mine, 100% water change is not always possible, so doing 25% per every week and 50% once in a while is a good option. So since I'm a beginner right now, I am doing 50% water change. I'm using dechlorinized water. Basically this is stale water in a better sense of the term. So basically this is stored water that has been lying around in my house for a couple of days, and the chlorine automatically goes away, and that's why you have water that is dechlorinated, and it doesn't really kill the bacteria that's there in the tank. Although it's highly recommended that you get some form of water treatment or some form of chemicals or some form of bio filters that you can apply to help your bacteria grow. After doing a few touches, moving stuff around, adjusting things up as the water fills up slowly and steadily, here what I'm doing is increasing the height of the water gallon. So basically when I pick up or put the water source on a higher level, the water flow tends to kind of increase. Adjusting the light over here. Let me quickly list down the few things that I actually have. So this tank that you see, 1 feet across tank, this costs around $200. The filter, which is a sponge filter, best for this particular size of aquarium, costs around $100. The water pump that's blowing the air, it costs around 120. The pipes, so as to say, silicone pipes, they cost around $10 a meter. And the branch, actually, that's something that you're gonna have a tough time finding out. So they're like a kg for 600 or so. The soil, black soil, is for like 400 rupees kg. The plants cost around 60 to 70 bucks for each of them. Right now I have like 4 varieties of plants, which are Hygrophila compacta, also known as temple plant or starhorn. I have Polygonum pink, which is the small leafy plant that's like the tallest, not the pink one in the behind. The pink one in the behind is actually dwarf lily. So just like lily on land, it tends to give out lilies, but for that it has to actually overgrow my aquarium, which is not possible. What you just saw is me cleaning up the algae, some of the gunk and other material that's accumulated on the glass, since we don't really get 3mm glass over here. So this is the best way to clean them. I even cleaned them when the water level was quite low. It's the same technique, just aquarium water, smudge it around, and everything will be pretty clean. In terms of cleanliness, yes, the filter that you see is sponge filter. There are types of hang-on filter, canister filter, but I probably would be moving on to a sponge. Not really. I probably would be moving on, or I'm actually quite inclined to get a hang-on filter, which actually removes that black spot, like a black mass in the middle of the aquarium. it will take care of that. So here I take off the water supply. I'm just gonna pour up the water. I usually tend to keep the water level really high. Generally people keep like an inch or two space on top, but I really like to take the water level really high up, because I have a couple of shrimp who actually walk right up to the top of the branch and they sort of relax there. So I try to keep it as the water level really high. Cleaning up the mess that I created, sorting everything out. Moving on, let's talk about the care that I have to put in. So this is a planted aquarium, so 100% water changes are not quite possible. I currently am doing say 50% water changes, because it's quite new, so the ammonia level is quite high. The plants are not yet fully rooted, hence the water changes are quite frequent, but down the line it will be 25% every week or so. And once I have a siphon, I will be able to suck up the gravel and clean that up separately, and I wouldn't need to go through the hassle that I'm doing right now. So yep, just as I said, topping of the water, making it really high up. And as you can see, there are bits that are floating around. These are basically small plants and carpeting plants or seeds that I had put up inside. They kind of are quite loose and they tend to go ahead and roll around in the water, and that's why the filter is actually on. So it's going to suck all that up, or it will throw it at one corner where I can easily collect it. Now this is me cleaning the algae. So a lot of times the smudge technique doesn't really clean all the algae. So this credit card technique does help. This is the aquarium. After cleaning and letting the sand settle up, the filter is off for a few hours. I let the fishes do whatever they want. Any cleanliness, any leftover food is all eaten up by the shrimp and the fishes. And I sort of let the water settle, let everybody get out of the stress zone. And if you're wondering where the shrimp are, here they are. And as you can see, gorgeous looking beans. They barely grow for an inch or so. They usually turn to give up babies real quick, which I'm hoping to happen in this one. They are actually the reason why I have a planted tank, to be honest. This is a tank at night. After it's been like 3 or 4 hours after that I've shot this, the water has settled quite a lot. There's no debris floating around, and as you can see, 50% water change, and it's fine. The water does not stink. Everything is quite well. Here is the neon tetras that I was talking about. So this is shot on 440 frames per second, and they are quite fast fish. They move around quite a lot. If you come in even closer to the tank, they instantly see you, and all of them just school around and scutter around, or they just hide themselves off. So yeah, this is the behavior that I've noticed a lot. So they like hanging around around the bushes and the branches. And yeah, here's a look at the gravel that I have. So as you can see, there are bits of food, the bits of poop, fish poop down there. It's completely fine. You don't really need to over clean your tank. When you have a planted tank, all this material is actually food for your plant. Not literally, but as they decompose, they tend to become food for your plant. Here I have the tetras in their schooling behavior. Funny thing about the plants is that most of these are actually tropical plants, so that has helped quite a lot to have tropical plants which go well with the atmosphere that I have, the heat that I have, and the level of care that I can put across. If you really want to know the best beginner plants, or if you want to know how I researched about these plants, sure, just leave a comment or so. I will probably make a video about them. And yep, here's the entire view of my aquarium. The future of this might be totally different. I might just keep this at a different level, try to add different textures, dragonstone and pit. That's my shrimp and